In today's video, I'm going to show you the whole process of buying a home in Hawaii. We are going to break down the buying process into 3 different stages, and each one of them is very important, and there are a few things you should never forget about because it's gonna cost you a lot of money in the future. And if you stick with me all the way to the end of this video, I'm gonna be revealing a few tricks I use for my clients and their offers to stand out and win bidding wars, even though their offers are not the highest one. Aloha! This is Robert from listwithrobert.com. Welcome to my channel and beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. My name is Robert and I am a real estate agent and investor from Oahu. This is my channel where I like to talk about real estate, investing, passive income, entrepreneurship, and of course Hawaii. If you like any of these things, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to smash that like button. And without further ado, let's get started. So here's my breakdown of the process into 3 different stages. Number 1 is preparation. Number 2, search and offer. And number 3, transaction. If you're going to remember only one thing from this video, let it be this one. Real estate is a long-term game. When you're just starting to play with an idea of buying a home, make sure to consider how long you will be in Hawaii or wherever else you might be. The reason why this is so important is because when you buy a property and decide to sell it after just a couple of months, or even within a couple of years, you might find yourself losing money. When you buy a property, besides the purchase price, you also pay what is called closing costs. The rule of thumb how to account for closing costs on a purchase is that you multiply the purchase price of the property with 1.5%, and those are your approximate closing costs. Let's say you buy a home for $1 million. Your approximate closing cost will be $15,000, and therefore technically you pay for the property not $1 million but $1,015,000. On the other hand, when you decide to sell the same home, you will also have closing costs as a seller, but this time it is going to be only about 1% of sold price. Besides that, you will also have to pay 5 to 6% of purchase price to brokerage, which will represent you in the transaction. That's a fee which all brokerages charge for their work, and it is usually called commission, agent's commission. With that being said, if you would sell the property from our example for $1,015,000, you would lose somewhere around $61,000. And that's a lot of dough. A lot of dough. Easiest way how to avoid it is to know how much properties appreciate on average in your desired area. And I'm going to do a general statement here and use Hawaii's average yearly appreciation for a single-family home, which is 4.6% for the past 35 years. This means that if you hold on to the property for a year and you paid $1 million for it after that 1 year, you should be able to sell it for $1,046,000. But that is still not enough to cover all your closing costs and brokerage commission. Now, let's look if we would make money after 2 years. Our property is worth $1,046,000 and it appreciates again 4.6%. That means that we should technically be able to sell it after 2 years for $1,094,116. Now subtract 6% for commission and closing costs and purchase price of $1,015,000. That will leave you with $13,469. And that leads me into my initial statement that real estate is a long-term game. If you want to know more about this subject, I have a completely separate video and I'm going to link it up over here so you can watch it later. Second thing I recommend to do in the preparation period is to find a rockstar real estate agent, which should be very easy because all you gotta do is call the phone number in the description of this video and I will be more than happy to help you with whatever real estate needs you might have.
This is a rather shameless promotion.
Third tip, what to do in this period is to look at the financing. Most of the people don't have $1 million hidden under the bed or their bank account, and therefore they will use financing to purchase their new home. Best thing you can do is to either go to a financial institution you bank with or any other bank and ask them if they have any mortgage programs available. And I bet most of them will have. Or if you bargain shopper, you can Google mortgage brokers in your area and give them a call. Every rockstar agent should be able to help you with this one and do it as a part of their services. Of course, charge free. There are two types of processes you can go through. Number one is pre-qualification, and number two is pre-approval. Both of them are free, and all you need is a little bit of your effort. Pre-qualification doesn't require any documents, and lender is solely relying on the information which you provided to them and your credit score. As you might suspect, this is not the best option, as anyone can say that they make in 100 G's a year and they have zero debt. I'm sure their pre-qualification letter will be very impressive, but since you will be dealing with real estate professionals, they will know that this holds a very low value. Better option is to go through complete pre-approval process, which requires more work and supplying the lender with a whole bunch of documents such as tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, and so on. I have a complete list of basic documents which every lender will require, and you can find it in the description of this video. If you are interested in going through the whole pre-approval process, you can shoot me a text or email and I can hook you up with a mortgage broker on my team. After successful pre-approval, you will find out how much you can qualify for and get an idea how much your monthly payment will be and see if that aligns with your goals and of course with the market in your desired area. Also, the letter from lender is usually good for 3 months, and after that they will rerun your credit. Next tip is going to take us to second stage. It can be done with or without an agent, and I call it needs and wants analysis. Sit down with anyone who you're planning to purchase the property with and start writing down what is important to you and them. Once you're done with the list, look at it again and see what are the things you would be able to live without and can compromise on. When you have a clear idea what you're looking for, it is time for your agent to step in and let you know if your goals are realistic and if you can get things on your list within your budget. He might be also able to point you the right direction how to get things on your list, and that's how you will get to stage number 2, which is search and offer stage. Your agent can start looking for a property according to your specs. Also, what we usually do is to set you up with a custom search. And as soon as a property which meets your criteria becomes available for sale, you will receive an email. After seeing the property in person, you will get much better idea if this is something what fits your criteria or not. And hopefully it is. In that case, real estate agent can prepare an offer and submit to the listing agent for you. Many times it is very important that you act very fast. I've experienced many situations where the owners accepted an offer which came in early, but then they received another offer which was even stronger than the one they are in escrow with. Other important element is to know as much as possible about the owners, their desires and plans. That way you can tailor the offer around this information and make it as strong as possible. There are a lot of important things in the contract, and I would highly suggest to read it and highlight any areas you don't understand or you're not comfortable with and let your agent explain them to you. After your offer gets accepted, you will be opening an escrow. Escrow and title company doesn't work for seller nor buyer. It is a third-party company which helps during the transaction, and best way I can explain this is that they are basically guaranteeing that you as a new owner receive a clean title to the property and the original owners will get paid for the property what was agreed in the purchase contract. All the payments which you make during the transactions are made out to this escrow company, and it takes care of the funds until the end of the transaction. Quick tip: every time you decide to wire money to escrow company, make sure you call them and confirm account numbers. There have been many occasions where escrow company's email gets hacked and hackers send out an email to all the clients to wire their earnest money deposit or any other deposits to false account. And you guessed it, once you wire that money, it is gone. There are several important events in the purchase contract which you should pay a lot of attention to. Number 1, due diligence or inspection period, which usually takes 10 to 14 days. During this time, you as a potential new owner have a chance to look at the property more in detail and make sure that all important components are in good working condition. Inspection can be done by a professional home inspector, and he checks all major components like roof, foundation, plumbing, electrical, and so on. Based on the result of the inspection, you have several choices. Number 1, if the results are so bad that you don't want to deal with the repairs, you can cancel the contract. In that instance, your only out-of-pocket expense would be a home inspection, which is around $500. Number 2, you can ask for repairs. Number 3, you can ask for credit to repair things, and that can be either in closing costs or lowering the purchase price. Second important event in the purchase contract is termite inspection. It usually is paid by seller, but you as a buyer have a choice of the company you want to work with. If the report from the inspection says that there is a live infestation, seller needs to take care of it on their own expense. But remember, everything in the contract is negotiable and things can look different on the case-to-case basis. Third piece of information you should pay attention to is seller's disclosure statement. This piece of document can tell you a lot about the property and if it was well taken care of. Most of the homeowners who take care of their property keep records of any renovations or repairs they've done. Also, this document holds the original owner responsible for any covered damages or problems. If you can prove that the original owner purposely didn't disclose something was wrong about the home and you sooner or later discover it, you can sue them and hold them accountable for the damages. Fourth thing you should pay attention to is an appraisal. This is usually the very last big hurdle to jump over. The reason why the appraisal report is so important is because based on it, bank approve or disapprove your loan. Let me give you an example. You and the seller agreed that the purchase price of the property will be $1 million. But because you don't have $1 million, you're asking bank to loan you money, and you and the bank agreed that they will give you 80% of the purchase price and you will come up with the remaining 20% as a down payment. That is $200,000. But just to make sure that this is a good deal for the bank, they send an appraiser to the property to make sure that this property is worth how much you agreed to pay for it. Appraiser evaluates the property based on its condition and sold comparable properties in the area, and the report comes in low at $900,000. Well, that's not a good news for you. But bank says, okay, not a problem. We can still fund the purchase of the property, but because we've been told by the expert that the property is worth only $900,000, we can give you only 80% of the $900,000, which is $720,000. Now you have to come up with $280,000 instead of $200,000. Assuming that the seller is not going to give you $80,000 discount. And why would he? Remember, he still has that backup offer, which is even higher than yours.
It's better than yours.
And that's when the whole deal can go south. Therefore, it is very crucial to have a very good idea of the area and what the similar properties are selling for, and that, my friend, goes back to the agent. The other thing how to avoid this is to have either some reserves or have a clause in the purchase contract which specifically addresses this situation. After clearing the appraisal, all things fall into place and you will have a final loan approval. Last contingencies as moving, cleaning the property, and final walkthrough are scheduled. Before you can enjoy your new crib, you will have to find a whole bunch of documents for the loan and property, and of course, bring in that cash to the signing table. Most of the escrow companies require funds to be in 2 days prior to recording. Recording is an act where your name is being noted on the title as a new rightful owner of the property. And that was the last piece of information in regards to the closing. And I know that I promise you that if you stick with me all the way to this point of the video, that I'm gonna be revealing a few tricks which helps my offers to stand out and win bidding wars. So number one, I always include a personal letter to the sellers from my clients, explaining their motivation to buy the property and make that emotional connection with them. Number two, escalation clause. This is a verbiage in a purchase contract which says that you will overbid any other higher offers than yours by $1,000, $2,000, or even $5,000. And you can limit or cap the purchase price to a certain level so you feel comfortable paying that much for the property. And that, my friend, is the last tip I'm gonna give you today. If you like this video, please don't forget to smash that like button. Write me any comments or any questions you might have about the home buying process. And until the next time, aloha!